Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen, Almost Daily. I'm Stephen Allen and this is a day. What more could you possibly want? Welcome along. We'll go through. It's a Friday. Oh, Friday Live and Loose. Where's the Friday Live and Loose? Friday. Welcome to Friday Live and Loose with me, Stephen Allen. Probably could have said that myself, but you get the general gist. Hello, and the Friday one is somewhat looser, but it's my show where I go through some newspapers, and that's about it, and chat in the comments. And blah, blah. If you're listening to the audio version, that last little sound probably didn't make much use, did it? Much sense? Oh, it's going to be one of those shows. And if you are in the YouTube-y thing, you can get involved in the chat already. We can go and see what's happening in the chat. Already, look, if ever you want a place on the internet where there is some of the finest chat going on, you can look somewhere else, but you can very much enjoy the level of, not psychology, what's the other one that's pointless? Philosophy. The level of philosophy that's going off in here. Already we've had the question posed, are we humans, from proper means, are we humans or are we dancers? And that's a fascinating question, isn't it? Obviously quoting The Killers, which I love. That's an interesting song, isn't it? Because they missed the point that dancers are humans. I don't want to go Cantor set theory on you. On the set of all humans, the set of all dancers within the absolute waste of 3 minutes that song is now I think about it. There we go. All right. As long as we're not sand dancers. Oh, M says that. And for a second there I was thinking, have you just got me in trouble by doing the kind of thing that'll get me cancelled? You can't say that these days. But then I remember it's Wallace, Keppel and Betty or wherever those three were. I'll tell you what, one of the most disappointing lawyers I ever went to. I like South Shields, M, says Joodles. You're just rubbing it in, aren't you? There's no need to mock. Oh, no, don't. The Sand Dancers are from South Shields, aren't they? Were they? And, yep. Oh, okay. Is your face working today, Steve, says Joodles. Not really. Have you noticed? If you listen to yesterday's audio-only podcast, my face was not up to the job. Great Indian restaurants in Shields. Again, just checks. Is that offensive? No, it's not. Okay. Proper Meme says, by the way, Steve, is now 100 subs over Lewis. Yeah, but he gets more viewers. There's no point having the battle. I'm not going to win. This is the modern day internet, right? I can sit here and do sense. It's not what people want. I can come up with some actual proper thoughts on stuff. No one wants that guff these days, but it is what I have to offer. Philosophy Corner says memes. I don't think we need to. No, it's not my Wilson, Keppel and Betty, is it? It's not my Wilson, Keppel and Bete Noir. No idea what that means. Welcome along. Get involved in the chat. We'll see where that goes. We should start off with the front pages like this.
Here are today's front pages.
I should say Proper Memes has made a new front pages jingle for me, which I have not loaded on yet because I've been, I would say, busy or idle or both because, again, they're not mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. The world. So let's start off with some front pages. I've honestly not read this one yet, but it doesn't really matter because I'm sure we could do some sort of jokes on it. The Mirror goes with freeloader Farage. Where's Wally? Anger in Clacton. There's a lot of anger in Clacton. Have you been to Clacton? It was already angry before Farage did anything. Not just pre-milkshake. The anger there predates the milkshake. Let's have a look. Nigel Farage was blasted for, they always say that in newspapers, don't they? Never seen anyone actually have that done to them. For ignoring his day job after jetting to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The way I said that might get me in trouble as well. We're back onto the sand dancing jokes, aren't we? The reform leader, I've done that before as well. I got in trouble by calling someone the former something that they wanted me to do like an on-air apology on GB. The reform leader was pictured on a VIP jaunt last month. No one gives two flips, do they? Do you really? Because you'd moan if he was there doing his job anyway. The front page of The Sun goes with another story I don't care about. Send Rit like Beckham. Good pun, but again, don't care about this. Brooklyn Beckham sent parents David and Victoria a legal notice warning they can now contact him only via his lawyers. I struggle to care when our king has this kind of relationship with his son. I'd say get over it. As someone who's lost his dad, I'd say at some point, you're probably going to wish you could still talk to your dad. But you do you, rich people. The front page of the Telegraph goes with Reeves to climb down on pub tax. which is half of a mental image until you get pub tax at the end. You're like, oh, I see what's going on here. It's another U-turn. It's 12 so far. Someone's calculated 12 U-turns that this government have done since taking office, which is impressive, which is good, isn't it? They always say that a government should listen to the people, and in the face of new evidence, you should change your mind. And they are so good at this. By the time I'm not watching the news right now. They might have U-turned on their U-turn. This could be out of date already. If we could somehow connect a dynamo to them, as they spin, they could generate electricity. You know, a charged particle moving creates that one. Get your induction and all that Maxwell's laws in there. We could get energy out of these. Ed Miliband would be so happy. It would be carbon free, wouldn't it? You just attach a motor to one of the members of the cabinet and just as they go around. So they've done. I did have another picture of it, but we don't really need it. You get the general idea. They've scuppered the pubs, and there's a couple of other things as well. But they've scuppered the pubs, and then they've said, do you know what? It looks like a mixture of minimum wage, national insurance on the employer's side, business rates, some other things. But you add it all together, it's not great for the pubs. And they've said we will give some extra help to pubs. But the timeline of this is cause problems from the pubs, get banned from some pubs, then get told that there's going to be some special dispensation for pubs. You've made it look like you're alcoholics. Because if you'd have done this climb down earlier when they said it's going to be difficult for the pubs, we would have thought, you're so caring, you care about the pubs. But it very much feels like as soon as you heard that your supply was cut off, then you're like, well, we'll change the rules just for the pubs. You're looking a bit thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Is that all the others? Oh, hang on. Britain shuts down ahead of snow bomb. I think I've got more on that later, actually. We'll say more on that later. I think I've got some stuff. And the front page of the Daily Mail, which of the brand new supermarket mini meals for fat jab users and dieters are tastiest? I don't care. Go and eat them yourself. And pub U-turn, too little, too late is what they've gone for. So you're basically up to date. There are some other newspaper front pages. They're not that much fun today. See what's happening in the... Here we are. Good afternoon, Steve, says Sebastian. How are things with you? Hope you are well. I appreciate you and your podcast. Thank you, Sebastian. It's nice to be appreciated in any sense, especially at home, which I am right now. Wally's in the crowd, says Proper Memes. Oh, was that where it was? You actually played Where's Wally? Good. I should have edited one in. Judel says, my chum used to have a cafe in Clacton. Can confirm they're all quite cross most of the time. They are, aren't they? I did some... radio cover years and years ago. We're talking like 15 years ago. I covered breakfast on a radio station, Garrison FM. They had them across the country. They were bought out by BFBS. And I used to do cover work on all the breakfast ones. The one in Colchester, I used to stay up there, and it was like one day, I'd done a breakfast show, I was bored, so I drove to Clacton just to have some seaside time. And the size of the seagulls. We all think that seagulls are big these days, but in Clacton, I'm a 6'2" man, and I saw one of those seagulls, and I was like, yeah. Because they can fly as well. They have the aerial advantage. And I wasn't even mugged for my chips. I bought it some chips. That's how fearful I was. They're a very scary bunch of people. Kiri Minogue. He's spinning around. I get your joke, Proper Memes. If I'd have had the time, that we could have done that as a song. But no one likes songs. When Charlotte's here, she gets upset when I sing, which is bad news for today's show. Spoiler alert. Alan's here as well. Hi, Steve. How are you? I'm all right, thanks. Excuse me, how many times Keir Starmer goes on holiday and David Lammy's in Canada? But again, though, don't wish them back. Everyone keeps going, well, our Prime Minister's barely here. But shh. Because when he is here, it's not like the stuff that's being done is good. So, yeah. Is Farage thing important? No way. I lost my dad very young. Alan, you know what I'm talking about. These people are on front page going, I've had a tiff with my dad. I'm so rich, I'm going to get lawyers involved. Jog on. Hog on, as they say in Spanish. I think we're up to date. At this point, they're like Kylie Minogue spinning around, says Ems. Okay, so everyone else managed to work out a Kylie Minogue joke, which I did not do. But it's a Friday live and loose. You don't expect quality on the Friday one, do you? I realise I didn't do a show yesterday, so I should have worked harder for this. But I didn't. I don't know why I ended that sentence like there was going to be more. All right, keep your comments coming in the comment section. I suppose we should just... get inside. It's got to be one of those shows.
Let's get inside the news.
Made it too sexy. Speaking of which, Grok. Grok. Where is it? Grok sex pics foul. That's my what 4 words. Because you might just have what 3 words. I use what 4 words to locate me in time and space. You'd need a lot of words. Given that one of those words would have to define the dimension of time, it would be an infinite number of words, which you can make by combining all the letters. So, shush. Here's the words would get very long, but it's Hilbert's words. Shush. It is a Friday show. Nothing quite like a Hilbert Hotel reference on a stream that does not need it. So Sir Kylie Starmer has threatened Elon Musk's X with action unless it stops its AI tool creating deep fake 6 images. Dear, you dirty little thing. But I think it's already been solved because there's this story. I might need to go big on this one anyway. Because this one's, I think it's the Sun's coverage. Maya Jama. She's a bad Maya Jama, is what I heard, according to a song. Love Island host Maya Jama is fighting back against Elon Musk's artificial intelligence hotbot Grok. What's a hotbot? Not a good spot. Because basically, I saw her tweet. She said, don't use my images to do anything. This is a really bad example they've used in the newspaper because the real pic literally shows more flesh than the fake one. But I don't think that's the point. I think they picked the wrong image to try and exhibit this with. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to put people off. People go, well, you've changed outfits. Whereas I think there are some ruder ones that they didn't put in there. But it seems now that she posted saying, hey, Grok, don't do any edits of my image. And now it won't. People have been posting saying, oh, go on, because what people are like. And it won't. Who would have thought that was the solution? Oh, steady on. I thought I was driving the Dartford Tunnel then. Who would have thought that would be the solution? Because I even had a conversation with Grok about this. Because I posted something. I'm being funny in the last episode. I was trying to be funny. Last episode we did of this show on Tuesday, I think was my favourite show, and it's earned the least on Ko-fi donations. So I am probably wrong about that. But a little funny thing about Grok. And then I tagged Grok in it, and he or it replies. We had a big old chat. It asked me like, one of the questions it said was what rules should be brought in to try and limit. And I was about to compose this big thing about the fact you can't do this on Gemini, so it must be entirely possible to make sure that you don't end up, you should check for consent of the picture. You can recognize people. And it turns out all you got to do is just ask Grok, yeah, don't do it to me. And it done. Done it. Speaking of which, though, Proper Meme sent me this earlier. Yeah. Even I'm terrified by that. Is that pina colada? I don't know why my eyes were drawn there. That is scandalous. It's so scandalous. I like the top of the bikini, but the lack of bulge, I will sue. There is not even on a cold beach would it look like that. How very... I'm going to have to Maya Jammer you. You're a bad Maya Jammer. Back into the newspapers. What happened there? This is an interesting one. I'm going to go straight to this one, actually. Kiss and Tell by George, which makes you feel like you've gone to the wrong Asdas, but that's not what's happening here. George Clooney has revealed he had his first kiss in the back of a church aged 11. You got to be honest, those priests are a nightmare. I didn't read the rest of it. I just assumed. Oh, should we do this one? Actually, you might even get the jingle for it because... Red Bull. Red Bull has overtaken Coca-Cola as the most popular drink in the Tesco meal deal. Speaking of which, literally got one today. This side. So if you'd like to, Red Bull, if you'd like to sponsor this show, if you'd like to sponsor Tuesday's show, that'll help out. The energy drink it topped the sales charts for the first time, the supermarket said, in its Club Card Unpacked report. Wow, someone bothers to read that? Chris Hood, by the way, says, Red Bull smells of vomit. Not only if you've thrown up after having Red Bull, haven't you? It's the same reason I can't drink cider. As a teen, I had a good sesh on the cider. I was bilious, which is one of my favourite characters. I rocked up, and henceforth, every time I smell cider now, I'm like, oh, it smells like sick. The body does it, doesn't it? It keeps you away from things that have harmed you. So, is Steve on Nespresso again? The show's more energetic than usual. No, on this one. Thank you, Problem is, he did send me an image where it looks like I'm sponsored by Nespresso. I will plug that until they go on it. Because I think if you're the kind of people who hire George Clooney as the face of your coffee machine, the next step is to get me involved. Okay, might be waiting a while. Joodle says top, middle, or bottom. I hope you're talking about what's a hot spot. You're looking at the picture of she's a bad Maya Jammer. It's because people want to get the best value for money. Is that why they go for this? The Cokes are expensive. Also, I just think life's hard, so you need drugs. Martin's here. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve, chat. Happy New Year to everyone. First time you've been here in the new year? I think you've only had a couple of chances. No, never touched this stuff. It did take me 40 years to be able to drink whiskey, though. Okay. I mean, that's probably good. I think, society probably would have been like, what's wrong with you? You can't drink. And now we're all learning that being like a great drinker isn't this thing to boast about. When we were in our 20s, anyone was a great drinker. It was like, hey, look at him, he can handle his beer. And now you realise that handle your beer is have a dependency. So you might not want it. The original Thai Red Bull is strong stuff. You can get it some import shops in glass bottles. Thai Red Bull. I imagine she does good massages. Charlotte not here, by the way, speaking of which. And the drugs don't work, says Ems. Well, you're in Middlesbrough, are you? I think the drugs do work. Right. I get in trouble for dissing over there. Oh, let's do this one. This is a worry. Red alert. Storm Goretti danger to life with 100 miles an hour winds. A rare red for dangerous stormy winds, or a red warning. Red warning, yellow warning. I think that's the system. It alternates between the two. It goes red warning, yellow warning, red warning, yellow warning. You try it. So Storm Goretti, nah, mate. I don't like the way that we are naming the storms anyway, but now we're letting the French do it. We've given in as a nation, haven't we? Forecasters say violent gusts. Well, speak for yourself. Over the next couple of hours or whatever. There's another picture that I was going to... Oh, no, it was this one. So there's another story. Oh, no, all right, this is it. So that, they got a text saying, watch out for the wind. The way that the sun covers it, Storm Goretti triggered a rare red warning. But look at the picture they chose next to it. I think if you're trying to make me scared of a storm, someone very much still holding an umbrella is the wrong image. If you can hold on to an umbrella, that's not a storm. I think what you're thinking of is rain. Yeah, that's what happens there, isn't it? When you're holding an umbrella to keep the rain off you, it's raining. When it's slightly windier than that, the umbrellas give in, like they fold like a cheap something, like a cheap Thai Red Bull. And so when it gets to like, I don't know, 2 miles an hour, umbrellas are gone. They'll be making me scared of 100 miles an hour with this woman. If she's not doing a Mary Poppins, I am not interested. We've got some chat on this one. Martin says, Tenerife, 17 degrees. So's my bed. Is it? Is that quite a cold bed? And also, of course, you get a lot of tourists in Tenerife. Do you get a lot of tourists in your bed? You dirty old bed. Oh, Harold. Nothing tops the OG Lucozade. Yeah. And he had a big pine fall down on our paddock. Firewood for the next winter sorted. I imagine. You had a big pine fall down, did you? Okay. Is that how bad it is? My wheelie bin is exactly where I left it, and today was bin day, so there's nothing in there. That's how bad things are. Misses, and Lucozade is poorly pop. You're right. When you're ill, you drink Lucozade. I don't know why these young'uns, honestly. Speaking of Gen... Right, you think Gen Zs are weird because they have Lucozade when they're not ill? Weird. How about this one? Look at this. Let's zoom in on this little bad boy. Gen Z's salmon sperm facials. Wannabe Kardashians are splurging thousands on celeb beauty fads, including salmon sperm facials. Why are you spending money on it when you can get it for free if you know the right salmon? one would imagine. Vain folk are also splashing out on wellness fads such as weight loss jabs, muscle-enhancing potions, and hair growth potions. Talk to me more about that one. But salmon sperm. Well, we've known about this for a while, haven't we? Rachel from Friends. She's had salmon sperm on her face. I can't help but think it might improve the look of your face. It surely ruins the smell. Right, in what way do you wish to be attractive? If it's just for the cameras, fair enough. But if it's for everyday life, it's in a bar, and you're like, wow, she looks great. You go over there, you're like, wow. That smells fishy in two ways. That's fish squared. You know what I mean? I think we can all see why that would not be going well. What the actual, says Chris. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing people used to say about milk, like who tried that for the first time. But that makes sense. You see a calf suckling on the udder of a cow, and you're like, all right. So it's less believable as a rough bit of stand-up, like who tried that for the first time. Here's the question. Who tried salmon sperm for the first time? Who saw those spawning? That's what they do, isn't it? Who saw the lady salmon do a little bit of eggs everywhere, and the gentleman be like, I'll cover that for you, and went, I bet that's good on your face. Those eggs don't have wrinkles. What's wrong with people? Charlotte's here. Hang on. Can you tell me if my comments are showing up? They are now. I must have missed something else. Don't worry. You'll be appalled by the singing later in the show, so you keep your comments there for a while. I went to a spa for salmon facial. After the treatment, they said, come again. Hey. Also, when you're at the spa, hopefully you picked up some eggs and milk. And what a weird... Oh, is there a black and white side cam? You are not a salmon. Hang on, the black and white ones. This is the normal one. I'll get the black and white one available. You are not a salmon. It's weird how it changes my voice as well, isn't it? Mention of a spa. As I come in here, exactly. Salmon did also come in here. I suppose they did. Yeah. It's not a bad job if you're a salmon. The rest of them just swim upstream and die. And there's one salmon there going like, it's a hard life, but I imagine smoking. Smoked salmon. We've peaked. That doesn't even make sense, but it will be the best joke you got. And that is not necessarily saying much. Where's the glasses? Right. Ran over a client. Sorry for the late arrivals. Because there's so many jokes I could make, but kind of not with what would happen in America. Do you know what I mean? It feels like, I'm not even looking at the wrong camera. You ran over a client. Does that help get the knots out? But anyway, smoked salmon. There you go. I knew there'd be some jokes in today's show. What's this one? Let's get back onto this bad boy over here. A green light for invasion. Donald Trump could snatch Greenland without firing a shot, thanks to an old Cold War agreement. The warmongering man-baby has ramped up threats to steal the Danish territory, and a 1951 deal signed by the US and Greenland could seal its fate. It says that the US can operate bases on Greenland, house personnel, and control landings. Do you know, I said this on the flipping telly the other day. He keeps talking about, we're not ruling out sending troops. There are already troops there. The only troops that are on Greenland are on an American base. Keep saying, like, we're not ruling out having troops there. Good. Because they probably don't have to pack then. What? I mean, literally no one could stop. Given that the only people defending Greenland are American troops, you probably wouldn't want to start the fight. This is why, if I'll try and find the story, this is why I think it's over and done with and America will definitely have Greenland. I'm not in favour of it. I just think that's the way it's going to go. Because this... David Lammy's going to sort it out. It's gone. Bye, Greenland. Sorry, I mean the United State of Greenland. Greenland even seems, if you say it like that, Greenland. Now it starts Maryland, Greenland. Yeah, okay, it's over and done with it. Well, it's been nice knowing you. The Deputy PM, David Lammy, met US Vice President J.D. Vance at the White House. He's gone, innit? I don't know what he would have said, but they now own it. If ever there's someone who can absolutely flummox a deal, the Lammy. Have you been watching Traitors? You probably know that I haven't. Kiss trigger warning. Traitors has been slapped with a bonkers trigger warning for scenes of a sex-fuel nature. when you read the story, it turns out it's not quite what it seems. Let me zoom out, do we? I did think, because of treachery, lying, duplicitousness, I thought, well, yeah, that's like a lot of relationships. Maybe I've just been through a few things. I thought that's what it was. But apparently, even though there are regularly talks of murder and all this stuff, they chatted about a kiss on the extra after program, and that got a warning. Can we just stop doing the after programs? Because they make a show, and then they make a show about the show. They used to be flipping podcasts. So now, at some point, if I ever get any spare time, I will facetiously make a podcast about the behind-the-scenes Red Button show, which is now on telly behind another show. That's how ridiculous this is getting. Let's have a look. Never ordering that again, says Ems. What, the sperm facial? Martin, sorry I was late. Got run over. This would all... I mean, it's just awkward, isn't it, with what happened in America? Proper means retracted a message, probably doing one about America. Tire massage, that's a new one. Yeah. There's got to be something in it, isn't there? Trump like a Danish for breakfast, I bet he does. And the USA threatening to go somewhere they can go already. I know, it's terrifying, isn't it? Where they already are, that's the thing. They might send troops. They're already there. Kiss trigger warning, Gene Simmons furious, says Proper Memes. They definitely need one, though, just for the tongue, don't they? And I thought the old rock band Kiss had reformed. Have they? Is he? Well, I thought he was one of the rock stars. Gene Simmons thought he was one of the rock stars who was ill. Well, no, I saw something about gene therapy. Hang on. The Red Button show. Not like that. Doodles. Oh, no, don't. Where's the almost daily after show? Exactly. I mean, the Friday one is almost the after show. The almost the after show is the name for the after show, isn't it? Who wants to do an almost daily after show? There must be a way. If we could get someone who's got the kit where you could just like have a debate and I'll join in the audience. I will be an audience watching you do a show about the after show of this. Are you up for that? I don't know why you would be. All right, let's crack on. Actually, maybe we need to, I'm getting exhausted. We need to take a little break, don't we? Due to the unique way that this show is funded, we'll be back right after these messages.
I'm streaming on the web cause I need your money for a comedy show. This bit ain't funny, but I have to ask you to go to my Ko-fi. Money's hard to find like the real Higgs boson, and I can't OnlyFans cause I keep my clothes on. So asking for your cash is the best option for me. Go to my Ko-fi. Go to my Ko-fi. Give a little cash, that'll be real nice to me. Go to my Ko-fi. Go to my Ko-fi. I must be poor cause I'm singing in the style of country. Go to my Ko-fi. Go to my Ko-fi. Give a little cash, that'll be real nice to me.
And we're back. So let's crack on with more of the news stories. Do you know what? It's got a twofer on this one. Got an absolute twofer. We start off with put 1 billion adults on jabs. Docs. Docs global fat call. A billion people should be put on weight loss. I'm not sure that if we do this, we're not risking more earthquakes because all of a sudden the tectonic plates won't have as much mass on them. I'm scared. When you lose weight, you lose the weight to air, don't you? You breathe it out. So we'd get more carbon dioxide. We'd get less people. And I don't mean fewer, I mean literally less. Because of the obesity crisis, 1 in 4 adults worldwide, I wouldn't call them worldwide, that's real. No, I see what they mean, would benefit from the treatment, they say. Actually, we can keep on this. What kind of a nation, what kind of a world do we live in where people are so fat we're going to have to jab 1 in 4 of them? Oh, that's right. The kind of people that would buy Toby Carvery-themed sportswear. Don't call it sportswear. There's no way it's sportswear, is it? Look, you can get that. If they've wasted their time making any of that in small, medium sizes, that's a sweatshop having to do more work than they need to. You can now buy Toby Carvery. What's it say there? Big roast energy. What the flipping heck. At some point in the future, they'll dig up this and future generations will be like, that's what happened. That's why society nearly died out. You know how there's that bit where we nearly ran out of water and the early humans became really clever? This is why we're now Homo sapiens. That's one theory, isn't it? There'll be a bit in the future where they're like, that time when we nearly died out because we just crammed our faces so full of stuff. That's why now in the future people have small mouths. I don't know what the evolution thing will do, but that's it. Yes, there's proper memes points out as well. There's Greg's Sportswear and Toby's Carvery. I always call it Toby's Carvery. You know whose fault this is? Toby. And do you know whose fault Greg's is? I don't know who owns it. Greg's and Toby, those two. This is, obviously if I owned it, I'd feel very comfortable in it. And I do love a carvery. My best carvery I ever went to, and I know you didn't ask, it was up in Scotland. I was on a Scottish holiday, and it was like higher than where the normal people are. And there was a carvery, and we went there. And the deal was, as you know, the rules of a carvery. First time up there, you can pick your meats. Obviously, everyone goes for a bit of one of everything, please. And then you veg, and you can go back again for veg, but you can't have secondary meat. Well, I went up there, and the woman who was dishing out the meat, she went, "Would you like a little bit of secondary meat, by the way?" She offered me secondary meat. Never been happier. Never been happier with secondary meat. Charlotte says, "You'll never see me wearing a Toby Carey, I imagine we mean Carvery tracksuit. Five Guys, maybe." I feel that you're setting me up for too much of an obvious joke there. You'd have Five Guys on you. The and Ems says, "I think this line is mostly filler." Are you somehow implying, I wish my musical comedy was anywhere near as good as Once More with Feeling? What was your best ever carvery, Steve? I'm glad you asked. It was the one where I got secondary meat. Happy New Year, says Mr. Cuff. I am listening, but stuck in traffic. Oh, I didn't realise. Should I do travel news? Which road are you on, Mr. Cuff? Let me know, and I'll do I used to work for Traffic Link and Inrix and all those ones. I was for a big chunk of my career before I did radio shows, I was a travel news presenter. I don't have the music bed, but if you do give me your whichever road you're on or big road that you're near, I'll try and see what I can do. Carvery, sorry, shaking hands. That's bad news if you're a masseuse, isn't it? Get myself in trouble. Thank you. Hang on. We're as zoomed in as we can be for this one. Jan Steenberg News, who started smoking at 14, has died at 121 of an asthma attack in Colchester, but South Africa. You know, this is going to be used by some people to be like, never did me any harm. Those people, normally the theme of the show is correlation versus causation and all of that, right? One person smokes and makes it to 121. Newspapers will be going with like, you see, because of survivor bias. Literally survivor bias. Not even like that's the euphemism we're using for the style of bias here. All the other people who smoked since they were 14 didn't survive, don't really get mentioned in newspapers. But the freak tail end of the Gaussian distribution person who does manage to last that long, I mean, who knows how long she would have lasted for if she wasn't a smoker. I think probably kept the weight off and that helped her. All right, fair enough, we'll move on. Coffee is here, says Joodles. But which road? I'm trying to help out. Health Corner, Smirk Tabs. Oh, is that what helps you? Got censored again because I said me at you. No. Does the chat censor the word meat? I mean, I don't often buy into this, the internet's gone woke thing, but I think you've got a point there. Mr. Cuff, I hope you're not on the A1. And Alan Fox is better singer than the Australian in the last leg. You have a soothing voice. When the Aussie sings on that TV series, I put my earplugs in. I have to admit, I use an awful lot of autotune and still don't hit the notes. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here. That picture of me in a bikini was not real either. I use a lot of autotune to try and make up that thing. Oh, sweet mercy. I'm so bad at singing that quite often when I use a lot of auto-tune, it tunes me further away from the note I'm aiming for. That's how not near the note I was. So I will fess up. I don't sound like that normally. This one. Some bloke who looks a bit like Ed Davey for some reason. He's got a couple of big sticks with him. Carry a big stick. Banging a pair of sticks together to cut crime. It may sound as thick as two short planks. Oh, the Metro. Really grating that pun, aren't they? But one community has found the idea to be an effective way of warning off offenders. The residents are wandering their streets with Japanese, I ain't trying that, following a stabbing and a spate of car crime and bike thefts in the area. But they're not walking out there finding the criminals and like going, "Wata!" like that with a stick, which is what you want in this situation. Instead, they walk around and they go clap, clap, clap. So they go around. Hang on, need a bit more space to get all this in. Probably should have read it first time. The clappers, is that what it comes from? Used in theatres in... Oh, so they're theatrical as well. Great. Used by people on patrol in neighbourhoods to let others know that they're being watched over. I mean, it's the audio version of the sign that says neighbourhood watch area. That's it. It sounded like it was going to be that these OAPs are learning the martial arts of Hyoshigi. Oh, no, you mean Hyoshigi. Yeah, so I thought it would be that they're learning the martial arts of Hyoshigi, but they're not. They're learning clapping. Great. For a minute there. Hyoshigi. Probably shouldn't even cover this story, but sacking for wife's hammer hit unfair. An NHS ambulance worker was unfairly sacked for her wife tried to kill their boss, according to a tribunal. The spouse was jailed for attacking. So basically, what you've got in 2023, some woman goes and attacks her partner's boss. I mean, this is all girl-on-girl violence. As we, I frown upon it, but you can't blame the patriarchy for this one because it's all three ladies, right? But I do think it's interesting that, like, if my spouse hit my boss with a hammer, I think I'd expect to get fired. And I don't know if I'd be like, well, I didn't do it, and take them to tribunal. But then it turns out, on one level, it makes sense. Why should you get fired just because you're married to someone who's, handy with a hammer? To those with a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Ladies. What have we got going on here? Charlotte says, I smack two things together. Oh, dear. I've enjoyed today's show. Probably means I'll make no money on it. Let's have a look. Charlotte says, Alan, a soothing voice. Nah, I love it when Steve does singing. Thankfully, since the early days of Comic Solving Problems and doing radio shows, the auto-tune back then was terrible. The new version is much better. And at some point, AI will fix all my problems. I can teach it to sound like me, and we'll be over and done with it. Proper Meme says, Big Steve and the Panhandlers. I was thinking of doing the full version, because that's a 3-minute piece of music I got. I could do a few more verses. Just no video, just the thing. But I don't know. Maybe we've got time for it. And Mrs. says, Chris, Love Triangle got hammered. Yes. It's interesting to know what kind of triangle that would be. Something, I'm presuming, everyone thinks equilateral, but if I had a love triangle, I'd go right-angled. Do you know what's my favourite triangle? Of course you don't, because no one asked. You didn't even ask about the carvery. I think this is as close as I can get to actually coming up with a joke today. Let's see if we can do it. Disgrace for belly buttons fetish PC. A police officer obsessed with belly button piercings stalked and harassed 11 women. It's terrible, isn't it? I worry that people are into my belly button as well, because a police officer wanted to see my belly button, and now he's looking into it. Oh, something like that. It didn't quite work. Isosceles, says Chris. I know what you mean. It's a good word. They're good triangles. And they are very easy to turn into two right-angled triangles. So actually, they look better than right-angled triangles. The maths is simple because you just have to half the base. I don't know. I still think you got to go right-angled because then look what you get. Cosine, cotangent, you get, cot, sin, all of these ones. Oh, Joodle says belly buttons and right angle because it leans to the left. Well, speak for yourself, sir. He's been outed, says Martin. Jesus, I won't tell you my fetish then. Well, it depends. Is it belly button based? The navel. If you told someone you had a navel fetish, they would not imagine you meant belly buttons, would they? They'd turn up like Officer and a Gentleman. What a letdown that would be, wouldn't it? A fungus like alien in year's top finds. A spider-eating fungus that bursts from its victim's body like a creature in Alien is among the top 2025 discoveries. Down in Kew, just the end of the flipping Silverlink. Kew Gardens are finding terrifying things like this. Don't. I don't want this. I didn't love the world when I thought we didn't have stuff that just out of you, but now we finally do. And it's a fungus as well, so it's even grosser than Alien. Thanks for this. Also, it does it on spiders. People don't like flies. What eats flies? Spiders. People really don't like spiders. Well, now what eats spiders? Something even worse, an alien fungus type thing that bursts out of you like the film Alien. Can we just stop discovering stuff? It's just, this is not the year. Read the room. Anything that's happening in the news is bad. So let's not discover stuff for a while. 2027 is my year. We'll go here. Jason Statham is one of them. Hang on. You are not a salmon. I got censored again for PC. Were you saying PC? I think it's not that you're getting censored for the words. I think it just it just knows what you're up to. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what's going on there. And it might be an innie or an outie. So that's the thing. What a surprise that would be when you're not expecting it. So, look, I think we're basically up to date. I should do, before we go anywhere, because I've got to rattle on. Right, 43 minutes past. One of the things I'm doing today, very shortly, so let's try and get the things in. Hang on. I had a plan for this. Now all we have to do is this.
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
Right. No, that's the notes for today. Look at that. I made 4 notes, so put some effort in. It's weird, isn't it? But, plugs. Today, I'm on talk at 1. In a second, if you don't mind, we'll just go through the stories. They've emailed them through after the start of this live stream. I have faith in my ability to read them in time. Kingston, tonight, on stage, just doing a set. One of the first acts on at that gig. If you're in the local area. For all we know, Coffee might be in the local area. Didn't give me any info about where he's driving. And Saturday, GB News 6 a.m. So I might be staying over in a hotel somewhere after the gig, getting up, going to GB News newspaper review. And then on Saturday, 5:30, I forgot about this, second Saturday of the month is when I do Times Radio. So I'll be on the comedy panel, whatever it's called. I think I'm still qualified. And then that's it until Tuesday, when we'll be back with another Almost Daily. I got the odd newspaper column that's being plopped out in the interim. That's basically what you needed to know about that. Some of the comments before we go. Card reader belly button. Yep. The people say my belly button looks like a slot machine. I see. Right. Why? Your belly button looks like a slot machine. You've got a little handle on the side, like 3 cherries. Is that what's happening? Yeah. You know, if you do get jackpot, where do the coins come out? Sorry. No, don't. 2 times radios, 3 times a lady, says Proper Memes. And hang on, let me get my plugs out too. We need the sound effect when I do the plugs. We clearly need a... I'll get that, work on that. Migrant Hotel this evening. Or did you ever get into the kennels? No, you're right. I've not booked a hotel yet, but it will be some sort of migrant hotel. All you've got to do is bring a dinghy with you. They'll let you in anywhere these days. And the bum crack is used to swipe credit cards, says Proper Memes. Okay. As long as it's a classy show, then I don't mind doing these as many times as I can. You don't want to know, Steve. Ding, 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 ding. Yep. Okay. So, Should we, if you don't mind, quickly have a little look at what I'm going to be talking about today on Talk Radio? Oh, just opened up Twitter and that thing from Proper Memes, that picture of me in a bikini. Doorbell, I've missed the doorbell as well. Here we are. Stories. There's my link for the Zoom. Starmer tells ministers to cut the fund to digital ID scheme. Okay, I could do my usual rant about not liking digital ID. Senior military chiefs warn Keir Starmer of a £28 billion defence shortfall. Yeah, that's true. Still, drop in, is it 300 million they're going to be spending on trying to help pubs? That'll help. Rachel Reeves brands critics of benefit splurge racist. Oh, she did, didn't she? As Labour boasts about law scrapping yeah, it's because Nigel Farage said how would you phrase it? He'd not have a two-child benefit cap for people who are British citizens. If you were born here, you could still get credit for your kids over that. And I think it's just on the maths. Because if there's one demographic of people who are not having kids, that'll cost you about £3.50 to bring in that one. Musk's X could be banned in Britain over AI chatbot. I think we've covered that lovely Lily. Although now we know that she's a bad Maya Jammer. I hope people know that song, otherwise you just think I'm picking on someone. Storm Goretti brings 99 miles an hour winds, according to the BBC. 1 mile an hour slower. I wonder why they've done that, to make it seem cheaper or something. And that's all the stories that I'll be talking about on the radio from One on Talk. All right, I think we're basically sorted for the day. If I could point you in the general direction of kofi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. I don't want to make a big song and dance about it. Ho-ho! How did I not think of saying that earlier? The jackpot comes out of the nether regions. It says, I think that's what we were going for, Charlotte. Oh, dear. At some point, if this show carries on, and I hope it does, we should just do we should find a pub that's halfway in the middle of the country and we'll just go and meet up and then get barred from there. I get the feeling that would happen. Local radio presenter barred for doing too many Ronnie Corbett impressions in pub. That's the headline. We need to start making headlines. So that's it for today's Friday Live and Loose. It was definitely loose and it was definitely live, so you can't complain about that. Proper Meme says Carl Carton. She's a bad mama jammer. Yeah, exactly. It's not as offensive as the Commodore's Brick House. If you listen to that song again, I recommend it. It's not on today's All Hit Radio show. Maybe Mondays from 1. I'll try and get it on there. But she's a brick, ding, 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 house. And that's the most complimentary thing in the entire song. 36, 24, 30-something. What a winning hand. He's not talking about her hands. Alan Fox has a hole-in-one. And bloody wind's coming over here. Illegally knocking stuff over, says Martin. Shakespeare is barred, says Chris Hood as well. And, all right. So you got away with typing that, Problem Means, but you can't say meat. Interesting. So I think we're all sorted. Thank you very much for tuning in. At Mr. Stephen Allen on all social media platforms. I don't know if there'll be anything that's worth clippable from today's show, but we'll go for it. And, yeah, we're about sorted. It's up to you. We could play out today, just because I spent long enough on it, and we could end on a song. Maybe we should play out with today's musical number. All right, we'll do that if I can load it up. Oh, no, there's one thing. Previously, we were talking about what was happening in Venezuela, and I did a joke. And then 2 days later, I was watching Stephen Colbert stuff. Look, it's just a compare and contrast. We'll just play this before we head out. Just this. So actually, even our government said not shedding any tears over the deposition of Maduro. Fair enough. I get confused between him and Monjaro. I've tried to inject him several times, and I am still this weight. That's where I've been going wrong.
Big topic today remains the arrest of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. So far, the public reaction to the invasion has been meh. In a new Reuters Ipsos Chili's Triple Dipper combo poll, only 1 in 3 Americans supports the U.S. ousting Maduro, while 2/3 of Americans think Maduro is the name of a new weight loss drug.
Am I saying they copied this joke? Of course not. Correlation versus causation. But can I prove they didn't watch this show and copy the jokes? Of course I could, but I'm not going to, is the point. Yeah? You're watching the place that sets the theme for topical comedy across the globe somehow, even though that's clearly not possible when you look at the number of views I get. Thank you for all of the thing. Just one more thing, says Steve is now Columbo. My wife, she's your biggest fan. It's clearly, if you want someone who's like Columbo, watch Lewis's stream. You know what I mean? Someone who just comes back, for some reason, is lovable. A short American man with that kind of voice. He is Columbo, isn't he? Anyway, apart from he can't use the phrase, my wife, she's your biggest fan. So let's head out of here. We'll play out with, as Proper Memes describes them, Big Steve and the Panhandlers. Till next time, bye.
I'm streaming on the web cause I need your money for a comedy show. This bit ain't funny, but I have to ask you to go to my Ko-fi. Money's hard to find like the real Higgs boson, and I can't only fans cause I keep my clothes on. So asking for your cash is the best option for me. Go to my Ko-fi. Go to my Ko-fi. Give a little cash, that'll be real nice to me. Go to my Ko-fi. Go to my Ko-fi. I must be poor cause I'm singing in the style of country. Go to my Ko-fi. Go to my Ko-fi. Give a little cash, that'll be real nice to me.
She gon' take my dog.